Namaste. I'm Sharu Anjirbag from the Yoga Institute. Our life is full of variety of experiences. Some of them are painful, some of them are pleasurable. And every day, every moment, knowingly or unknowingly, we are choosing how we live our life. If we shirk our responsibilities and don't take charge of our words, our thoughts, and our actions, then we are depriving ourselves of growth. But if we take responsibility of our thoughts and words and actions, we begin to empower ourselves. Now, taking responsibility, it may seem like a very difficult thing to do. In fact, shifting the responsibility may seem like a shortcut and a much easier thing. But the truth is that the moment we take responsibility, we take charge of how we feel, how we think, how we act, instead of others deciding it for us. So begin with some self-reflection. Look at your own behavior. Does your conversation have sentences like, "It's not my fault," or "I don't have enough time," or "I should have been informed before," or "That's not my job"? So every time you hear yourself saying these sentences, know that you are making an excuse. So become conscious and become aware of such conversations with yourself and with others. Every time you are late, does your mind start fabricating stories to justify your late arrival? Or justify why the certain project report was not completed? Identify the excuses. Start living a little more mindfully and consciously. Now, a person who is clear-headed only can identify these excuses, for which we need to be in the habit of meditating daily and regularly. If meditation is not your cup of tea, then Nispand app makes it very simple for you. Choose any beautiful track on the Nispand app, spend 5 minutes listening to that track, and after that, sit down to do this kind of self-reflection. Observe your own behavior, think about how you are conversing, what is your self-talk, identify the excuses that you make, and in fact, even note down a few of them. Secondly, quit the blame game. Take responsibility for your own actions instead of finding someone to blame it for. When we don't take responsibility, then we end up with a permanent job of having to find someone new or something new every time to blame whenever things go wrong. Now, this list can be really long because you have so many people whom you can blame. You can blame the government, you can blame your spouse, you can blame your children, the system, your health, your job. But even if this list is a straight mile long, it really doesn't help. Taking responsibility for your own actions, in fact, is easier because now you have only to deal with one person, and that is you, whether it is to praise or to blame. Number 3, have the grace to accept your mistakes. See, your mistakes are your mistakes. So embrace them as you would embrace your achievements. Mistakes are feedback on how we are doing. So it makes sense to befriend these mistakes. You see, every time you are successful, then you celebrate. But when you lose, when you make mistakes, you contemplate, you analyze, you plan afresh, you learn. So therefore, our mistakes should be treated as valuable lessons. Number 4, focus on solving the problem. Every time something goes wrong, do you see yourself focusing on finding somebody to deflect the blame to, or do you focus on the situation? Because your responsibility is your ability to respond, and to respond well and appropriately. When we take responsibility, we don't wait around for someone to come and make a difference, but we commit personally to make one. At the end of the day, you may end up with a long list of excuses why you did not, or you can end up with a page full of stories of how you did it. So to conclude, there is power in taking responsibility. When we take responsibility, when we take charge of how we feel, we take charge of how we act, there is tremendous power in taking responsibility. The day you decide that you are in charge of solving your own problems, you are in charge of completing your own tasks, you are in charge of improving your own health, you are in charge of creating your own happiness, this power will come to you. Namaste.